We're joined by the relatively new chairperson of the Black Business Council, George Sebulela. Great to have you with us,
Thank
George.
You.
So you're a businessman, leader at a business council. What does all this craziness on the market mean? What are you thinking about? Never mind this GDP data that came out today.
Look, I must say what happened, in fact, yesterday was typically what we call Black Monday. So what does that mean? Is that what has happened in China in terms of devaluation of currency has really, to a certain extent, had a direct impact not only to South Africa, Africa, and the world. So therefore, it is quite worrying. I think a lot of analysts, as you have seen before, they're making comments about it. It's a wake-up call to a lot of reserve banks all over the world. China has done it, and unfortunately, it's got a direct impact to the African continent, including South Africa.
Are you feeling stressed, or are business people feeling stressed?
You obviously have to feel stressed because a lot of business people invest on the stock exchange. Secondly, you don't know whether your money is secured. Secondly, we do business with the world, in particular China being the biggest consumer of goods, particularly commodities. Now it becomes quite worrying because there's a less consumption of those commodities in China. It is indeed the biggest consumer of our raw materials, and therefore you will be stressed if you carry a lot of stock that doesn't move.
Do you agree with our earlier guest that maybe in South Africa there's been too much strife even between government and business, tensions between black business, white business, that this is really a time to come together and say the enemy is poverty and a dire economy that's not going to create jobs?
I think maybe a few years ago there has been so many challenges between the relationship between those three parties. However, we have seen a lot of improvement in the recent time. Black business and BUSA, we often try and collaborate, even though it's not that perfect. Secondly, government has created a platform for us to talk. We have a forum called the Presidential Discussion Group, in which case we discuss all issues that business has concern, including what black business concerns are and the BUSA's concerns are. So,
is that effective? How does it work? Do you all sit in a room together? Are people honest? Who from government is represented? What sort of hearing do you get?
It's quite a very representative platform on the basis that black business will have had a discussion through a number of processes, including NETLAC, where we would have discussed with BUSA in terms of the position that we are going to put as business to government. And the representation from the government point of view, it's led by the presidency, the deputy president, and the different ministers for different departments. So it's quite a very well structured, organization. And the second thing is, we have formed also subcommittees to deal with specific issues or can I say industry sectors in order to address the issues. So therefore it has become much more of a working group than just a talk shop. So we're seeing a little bit of improvement. It could be better, but we have started with a great process.
What is the number one issue for the Black Business Council right now? When you hear news that our economy is in contraction, not good for business, not good for anybody, what would you like to push for?
We obviously have embarked on a very vigorous process of black industrialization, and we take that process quite seriously. We want to see black people participating in the mainstream of the economy. Now, when the economy begins to act as it acted like yesterday, then we start to wonder what will happen in terms of our processes, because we want to create manufacturing facilities. We want to see a lot of black people becoming owners and running of these manufacturing facilities. So therefore, it's a worrying factor, and it's an economy issue. It's beyond all of our control. I think in the process, we hope that the markets are going to change, and we will see things changing for the better.
Is the saddest, maybe for me, that the rand is meant to be this soft cushion. So when imports get very expensive because of the weak rand, at least it boosts exports, and all industrialists can boost what they're sending out into the world. But that link seems to be broken.
Yeah, in fact, it's vice versa, because the exports to China would become lesser, and China's exports to Africa will become even more. Because
we're seeing that with steel.
Yes. So therefore, the process of industrialization is we want to limit more of exports and make sure that there's manufacturing facilities in order to play in the entire value chain of whatever the products are produced. So therefore, we get worried that it will limit really the plan that we have. But I think over time we anticipate things changing.
Final question. I spoke to you in China, and I know you have business interests in China. What are you hearing on the ground there? How worrying is the situation in China? Because we were talking about the fact that there could be great opportunities. For example, if China woke up to South African wines in all the restaurants. What we're seeing right now, does this change everything?
Remember, one of the other strategy for China to devaluate the rand could be they want to make sure, if you notice few months ago, a lot of people were off late, workers were off late, on the basis that they're trying to reduce the prices in China, so that the manufacturing must focus in China instead of moving outside China to other countries. So therefore, the challenge is, if you are exporting goods into China, you're going to have a problem, because then the price is much cheaper in China than from the countries that comes from outside. And that's really that's trying to stimulate their own
So
economy.
they're keeping their own, the prices of their own goods cheap 100%. As possible, so no foreigners come in and compete too hard.
To stimulate their own economy, yes.
All right, not a great outlook. Hopefully things get better by the next time we chat. Appreciate your time. That was the chairperson of the Black Business Council, George Sebulela. That's all we have time